Thank you everyone for attending our State of the District meeting. This is our first attempt at doing one of these virtually for Horseshoe Trail District. We're going to start off just a little bit of announcements. Mike Stanilla unfortunately could not make it to our meeting tonight for the OA announcements. So he's asked me to share that the OA chapter is in full swing with this year's Troop and Crew OA elections. If you have scheduled a few elections so far, or sorry, he's scheduled a few elections so far, but there are lots of units that he has not heard from. The election period is from February 15th through May 15th.
Oh, well.
The election period is from February 15th to May 15th. So please get your units elections scheduled right away. If you have not reached out to Mike, he will be attending Klondike this weekend if you're going to be there. If not, please reach out to him at mstanilla@verizon.net. There are a couple of other dates for your calendars for the OA. April 23rd to 25th is the Lodge Fellowship at Camp Bayshore. May 16th is the new date for the Lodge Banquet at the Dining Pavilion at Camp Mac. You can register for those through Tentaroo. Registration for the banquet is due by April 30th, and the cost is $25 each. Also in May, the Spring Ordeal dates have changed. It is going to be May 21st through 23rd at Camp Mac. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Sheldon for just a quick announcement about Klondike.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. Tomorrow night, any units that are planning to camp out Friday night, we'll have registration open from 6 to 8. If you're there early or later, just see me in the morning, Saturday morning, it's fine. Don't forget to bring the pre-event medical screening checklist for each person, including adults, as well as at a minimum parts A and B of medical forms. A couple of quick things that are different is there will not be any hot meal served at lunchtime. Everyone will be receiving a bagged lunch that you will pick up before you head out on the trail. Also, and we'll mention that when you check your unit in at the camp office, I am looking for a minimum of 4 people. We have 2 Weeblo stations that still need help. So if we can get 2 people to cover each of these 2 stations, please let me know. You may drop me a line at smb115@ptd.net or drop me a text at 717-468-5333. Thank you all for coming that are planning to come to the Klondike. We could also use a few hands to run scores in from stations into the camp office. So thank you very much, and I'll turn that back over to you, Nikki.
All right. The only other announcement we have before we get into State of the District is Chet Bowen is here. He is our Council Spring Fundraiser champion. Chet, over to you.
Great, thank you. I'm going to share my screen, hopefully. Give me 1 second. Oh, it looks like screen sharing is disabled.
Give me just a second.
Okay. So while that's coming up, I've sent a series of emails over the last few weeks about the spring fundraiser, and I'm just going to go through a kickoff presentation for the units that are here. The emails have gone out to all of the unit leaders and the committee chairs. Oh, okay, there. It looks like I can. It looks like I have access now. All right. Let me just put this in the and we'll leave it in this mode. Okay. Sorry. So yes, going to talk for a few minutes about the PA Dutch Council Spring 2020 unit fundraising opportunity, which is first aid kits through our Right Response. Part of it in the email was a PDF of the different kits that are available. Here are some of them on the screen. The kits go from a price of about $15 for an auto, sports, or a pet kit, up to $120 for the ultimate survival kit. You can see here there is also one labeled a Scout kit. That kit is designed to fulfill all of the requirements for the tenderfoot first aid kit. So that's an option for the units and the Scouts as well. And an example order form is here. Now, granted, I appreciate it. It is incredibly small, but on the bottom left, there is a list of what is included in each one of the kits. It's also important to say that when your unit does sign up for this, they will be receiving emails, and they can pick up actual order forms from the council office the week of March the 8th. So a few specifics on the sale. The Scouts and/or the units, depending on how your unit operates, will earn 30% of the sales. All sales must be pre-order, meaning there will be no opportunities for the show and sell opportunities. Up until tomorrow is the signups for the sale. You can see here there is a link that you can go onto the council website or go to the PA Dutch Council website under Spring Product Sale, and there's a Google form that you can sign your unit up for the sale. And I'm here this evening doing the roundtable, and I did a kickoff for the harvest a week or so ago. Again, units that sign up can pick up the actual flyers from the council office the week of March the 8th. The sale runs from March the 15th through April the 16th. All orders and money need to be into the council office no later than April 23rd, and pickup and distribution of the kits will be the week of May the 10th. This is an example or a screenshot of where you can go on the PA Dutch Council website. Again, under fundraising, then under spring product sale. Granted, not the clearest picture in the world, but in the screenshot on the right, there is a variety of tools, a variety of email, or a variety of letters, order tracking information, things like that the council has available that you can give to your units, give to your Scouts to help them with the process. There's also on that website as well, there's also a unit guidebook. It gives a lot of the information that I'm presenting here as far as how the sale works, timelines, some ideas for how to implement a sales goal for your unit, a few ideas on methods or techniques, a sample story pitch, a list of all the council and the district contacts if you have any questions later on or throughout the sale, and a reminder if your unit is signed up as a team player, that your unit must participate in the council's spring product sale to retain team player status for discounts on district and or council events. Units do not need to meet a minimum sales requirement. However, they do need to sign up for the sale and promote to their respective members and families. Some other information that you can get on the website, for instance, is a Scout tracking sheet. So as the unit champion, you're able to record the individuals' names, what they sell, and things like that. And of course, I'll make it easier for distribution later on. This would be the order form that you hand in to the council at the end of the sale. Again, it would be per unit, so you would list how many of each one of the kits that you sell. And you notice here in the middle, when it comes to writing a check to the council, the unit will keep the 30% proceeds and write a check for 70% of the sales. So what happens after the sale? Again, all monies and orders need to be into the council office no later than April 23rd. Units complete the order forms that I just had on the screen. The units write a single check to the council, keeping the 30% commission, and then pickup and distribution of the kits is May the 10th, or the week of May the 10th from the council office. And then units arranged to get the first aid kits to their scouts for the distribution. That's all I have, and happy to answer any questions you may have. Either I did a really good job or I was on mute the whole time.
All right.
Hey, Chad, it's Dennis Wilsack. Real quick,
Yeah.
just wanted to add something. And hello, everyone. I am the Horseshoe Trail kind of champion for the spring fundraiser. Just wanted to let everyone know that we have been getting some information from people that are trying to download the sales brochure and print them out. So just wanted to let everybody know that you will be receiving hard copies of the sales brochures. So you could still print them out if you want to. But no worries, you'll be getting hard copies of them with the rest of your packet information. That's all I had, Chad. Thank you.
Excellent, great.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, Logan, it went to you. Can you mute yourself so it doesn't accidentally jump back again?
Yep.
All right. Thank you, everybody, again for that. We don't have any other announcements, so now we're getting into the State of the District meeting. There have been questions about COVID and what our council is doing about it, and some concerns about what units need to be doing about it. As you all know, things are changing rapidly. So this is the main council website, and right here is this restarting scouting COVID-19 information. It is a link. It takes you to the most up-to-date information that we have on the council website. So as you look at this, there's a checklist. Each one of these things has the date that it was last updated. The council recently found out, as you all did, that the state has changed a few of the requirements. So I believe we are currently up to a 15% capacity for indoor, and all of those other things are on here. So please check this out. Make sure that you are using the medical or the pre-event screening checklist for any of your activities. It is required for the Klondike Derby this weekend for everybody that is going to be attending. And things that you should do as you are going about your meetings is remind your parents and families that if you are sick or have been around someone who is sick, you need to stay home. Try to social distance. I know for some scout activities that is almost impossible, but do your best to stay 6 feet apart and avoid crowds. Avoid poorly ventilated indoor spaces. Meet outside if possible. Wear your masks, and please wash your hands often. For scouts, our motto is to be prepared. And if you are doing your best to be prepared, then you will do your best to keep your scouts safe. Thank you. And over to Jim for our next topic, which is membership.
I want to talk about the recharter, that we just went through, and some of the problems that we encountered during our rechartering process this year, where a lot of people didn't have their YTP training or some of their other training completed. Act 15 clearances. A lot of people didn't have the clearances, and I know this was the time that everybody basically got them updated. They had annual charter organizational agreements were missing. And people just waiting to the last minute to start the recharter process. So during this year, we lost 4 units and we gained 2. So that's a good sign. And I think also that the sign up genius helped with the backlog of people waiting in line to get their rechartering done. And there were 9 units that didn't turn in JTE score sheets yet. I think if everyone would start the recharter process on or close to November 1st when it opens, and have their recharters in the office by December 15th, that would help Nikki, our district commissioner, help her, give her time to get them to the registrar, get them back to see if there's any problems, and we can correct things prior to the deadline by December 31st, or when the office closes for the holiday. And that way we don't have any problems and people waiting like we did this year. So that's all I have on recharter. Thank you.
Okay. With regards to membership, Jim mentioned that we lost 4 units, but we fortunately were able to gain 2 back. The numbers this year were really pretty grim. We're down about 27% in membership from the beginning of 2020. And on the surface, we can look at that and say, oh yes, that's very understandable. But that's a pretty large drop off. And the silver lining in all of this is that the Pennsylvania Dutch Council actually did better on member retention than any other council in the Northeast region, and we were number 9 nationally. So small silver lining, but the reality is these numbers are grim. And as we take a closer look at our numbers from 2017 until January of this year, the membership drop off is actually 50%, and units have been slowly bleeding away. As we really dig in and take a look, we're finding that some of our school districts are very underrepresented with cub packs. So what we're doing, this membership has become really a top focus for at the council level, the district level, and what we're hoping is that you will all make it a top focus at your unit levels as well. We're in the process of building a team that will help you to address these this challenge going forward. Naturally, one of the big things that we have to address then is recruitment. That has, in the past number of years, that's become a real challenge for many of our units. It's more difficult to be in the schools and so forth and so on. And with COVID this year, the recruitment numbers were actually off 75% from the previous year. So our challenges and inabilities to recruit this past year are really what drove that minus 27% number. So what can we do? How do we address this recruitment issue? Okay, number one, I think what we need is we're going to have to build within ourselves, within our district, within our units, a year-round focus. I know we tend to think of recruiting as something that happens at the end of the summer when school's starting back up. And for those of us in the troops, we think that the annual recruiting is pretty much, that's a cub thing, and we don't need to worry about it. We'll just collect off the Webelos that are crossing over to our troops. And that's probably short-sighted on us as troops. We need to, all of us, PACs and troops, need to look at a year-round focus and mentality of how do we recruit. The Be a Scout, the PIN, go in there. Each unit has a Be a Scout account. Go in, make sure that your unit information is updated. Let's make sure that that you have the right contact information and the things that you want in there about your unit. Collaborate within your school districts. That's really an important thing, I think, that we're going to need to address this year. And how do you go about doing that? I'll give an example of something that we're just working to start and get off the ground in the Calico School District. And that's one of the Cub Masters put out the idea of let's have a camporee within the, pull all of our units together. And I know his initial thought was, hey, let's get out there and have a chance for the kids to get outside and do something together. But it's really a wonderful opportunity that we can use to promote and use as a recruiting tool. So we're working to put together a program there that they can have where they'll come, they'll have the opportunity to, in a COVID safe way, work on Cub activities, perhaps some Scout activities, open this, advertise it to the public so that they can come in and see what's going on, perhaps make some paper rockets to shoot for people who would be coming by, and hopefully recruit and attract some new Scouts earlier than at the beginning of the school year. This is something that the hope is to put together later this spring. There's also, and Nikki attached on your agenda, a contact to what was a Brian on Scouting thing yesterday, I believe it was, 7 pandemic area recruiting strategies that are proven to work. One of those is collaborating with other units in your town or your school district. We need to work as allies, not opponents. As far as there's strength in our numbers, as far as being able to attract and putting a recruiting event together that it's less work if we share that as far as advertising and getting people out. Other strategies from there are plan early. Again, you don't want to wait until 2 weeks before your recruiting event to start planning. This is something we should be doing months ahead, working on, and so forth. Utilize your social media. That's a challenge for me personally. I'm social media challenged, but and I don't mean let's go out there and put on our Twitter accounts or whatever. Look for local access where you can really focus on the local parts of what we're doing here. Places like Nextdoor, a lot of schools have message boards. Local areas have buy or sell boards that you can get in and advertise or make posts saying the good things about Scouting. Peer-to-peer, I believe that is the most effective way to recruit and add to our members. For families, for boys and girls to go out to their friends and say, you know what, Scouting is really good for our family and we think you would enjoy it also. Would you like to come along to a meeting? I think that's a super effective way. Those of us in the Scouts BSA program know that that is actually a requirement to invite a friend. And in my number of years that I've been in the program, that seems to be the most challenging and last thing that the Scouts accomplish to get to their first class is inviting a friend. And if they were smart, they would do that as soon as they came into the program. when it becomes, I think, at that younger age, much easier to ask a friend to come along. And then there are national marketing tools available on scouting.org that can help you to promote. And then there's council support. And I'm going to turn it back over to Nikki to talk about the tools that the council has available to help us with recruiting and membership.
All right, thank you, Rick. If you might have noticed the chat, there have been a few things going on. Dan Hansen has been kind enough to be sharing quite a few links. For instance, the National Marketing and Membership Hub. That link has just been put in there. The article that Rick referenced about the 7 things you can be doing, the link is in the chat as well. So please check those out. As far as some of the national or the resources that we have here in the council, if you have flyers that you would like to have produced, we can help with that. If you have an event that you are going to be doing that you would like us to help promote for you, we can help do that. Some people have heard of geofencing. Basically what it is if you let me know when, where, some of the details, we can work on getting something tagged so that anybody that drives within a certain radius of wherever your event is going to be will get a notification if they are on Facebook about your event. And that's just one of the ways that we can help promote it amongst the general public to help people find out about your event. But one of the best things you can do is just get out there with your scout uniforms on, whether it's Class A or Class B. Just being out there and being visible is probably one of the best ways that you can help with getting the information that your unit is there and active out to everybody. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you're having trouble with Be a Scout, I have access to every unit's Be a Scout pin and can help you get it updated. So there's a lot of resources, and I'm more than happy to help you get everything sorted out so that you can help promote your unit. All right. I'm afraid we now get to talk about the, not necessarily everybody's favorite part of it, but I'm going to turn it back over to Rick to talk finances.
Okay. An update on finances. 2020 obviously was a difficult and challenging year for all of us in many ways. Certainly for the PA Dutch Council, 2020 was an extremely challenging year. We had the revenue losses from the loss of our summer camp program, which happens to be our biggest revenue generator. We were unable to hold the Distinguished Citizen Award dinner event. Many of our units were unable to schedule or complete their family FOS presentations. And I think pretty much across the board, all of the districts had to cancel their community FOS fundraisers. So it was a challenging year as far as revenue. It turns out the picture isn't also bad in the way to deal with that. The council was able to secure some government loans. We had a PPP loan that I believe has since been forgiven. There was some furloughs, unfortunately, at the office, which for several periods of time made it difficult for us to get support from Nikki. Thank you all for your patience while Nikki was unable to be there. There was some staff restructuring that happened. There were several retirements and other staff reductions, and a lot of those tasks were contracted out at savings to what we had previously. So by doing some restructuring in the office and reevaluating the budgets and making some changes. We went from what appeared to be a loss of hundreds of thousands of dollars to actually the end product, we had a tiny surplus. We are not out of the woods as far as our finances go. This year continues to be a struggle for us on a number of fronts as we continue to look at how do we restructure to be the most efficient and provide services at the lowest costs. But fundraising will be critical to us this year, and we continue to have challenges with scheduling, in particular, the family FOS presentations. I know a lot of your units, it's been difficult for us to get those scheduled. We're going to talk a little bit more about family FOS in a few minutes. And I think right now I'm going to turn it over to Jim to talk about our exciting plans for our community event this year, which will be happening later in the spring. Jim.
Thanks, Rick. Community event will be on May 18th at Camp Mac. You ask, what is a community event? Community event is our Fosse community business leaders who are invited to participate. And what we'd like to do is have each unit create a display on standard size, either about a scout or project or a special outing that you went that the unit did. And it's something that you would be proud to share with the businessmen and businesswomen in our district, because this is a district event. It's something that you would like to share and you're proud of. And we'd like all units to do it.
Hey guys.
Have it on the poster board. And this display will be set up around, we're going to be having this at the pool at Mac, and it'll be set up around the pool, and the people there will be able to go around and look at it. And I think Nikki plans on and putting it on our YouTube page also.
You didn't want the bread?
The display should be given to Nikki by May the 10th so we can get them set up for our event. So again, we'd like to have all units participate as possible. Thank you, Rick. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. As I mentioned, many of our units still have been unable to schedule their family presentations. I understand that for a number of us, our charter organizations still have a lot of limitations. In some cases, your units are not even able to meet at all at your charter organization. And those of us that are meeting are under restrictions and certainly have limits on the number of people we can bring together. That said, the PA Dutch cost of the program per scout is approximately $191, which is one of the lowest of any council. We do a very good job of keeping the costs under control and still being able to provide excellent facilities and program. This $191, it's not part of the registration fee that's paid. There are some councils that are beginning to include some of these costs with their recharter. For example, there is a council in Iowa. They're charging for their recharter, their registration fee, $180 per scout. And over 100 of that is a fee to help cover those costs of the program. In PA Dutch, we're still choosing to ask families and scouters to voluntarily donate what they can to Friends of Scouting. This goes towards maintaining our camp facilities and properties and supporting the program and events of the council and the district. The Boy Scouts of America, I think, is a premier program for boys and girls. We offer the opportunity to become good citizens, serve our communities. Learn leadership, in practical ways, perhaps find a vocation or lifelong hobbies, participate in activities that aren't available through other organizations, learn life skills, and learn much about ourselves. As an example, my son, his Philmont experience led to his college entry essay, where he explained what he learned about himself during that trek, and eventually sparked his interest to hike the Appalachian Trail when he graduated from college. For myself, my scouting career started at age 9 when I joined the Cub Pack because a neighborhood friend asked if I would be interested, and I joined, and scouting has been a part of my life pretty much for the last 50 years. I did have a short little break when my children were young until my son reached scouting age. But I find the Scout Oath and Law are guiding principles in my life. And that's something I don't think that we can, that our children can gain from other programs. I think scouting is very unique and brings a lot to the table. So I'm asking for those of you who are on tonight to please consider, if you haven't made a gift this year, to consider your gift to Friends of Scouting. And for those of you who are with a unit and your families aren't on here tonight, we do have virtual options for presenting the Friends of Scouting, but please contact Jim, Nikki, or I about trying to get a presentation scheduled in some way. It's critical this year for us to be successful in our fundraising so that we can get back to a more normal presentation of our program at the district level. And at that point, I'm actually going to turn it over to Dan Hansen to talk about summer camp this year.
Dan, I think you're muted.
I think you're muted, Dan.
Okay, Dan is having a little bit of technical issues, so while he's getting back in the system, our next topic was going to be capital projects at Mac and Bayshore. So Rick, if you want to share about those, once Dan gets back in, he'll take over then.
Okay, great. So we've been painting this picture of how challenging everything is. So here's a really bright spot. There's a number of things going on at our camps, some capital projects. And I know most of you haven't been to camp for a while. So we're going to start off what's going on at Camp Mac. last spring, we were able to finish the aquatic center there, which is the long overdue new pool, decking, changing area, updates to the comfort station. Really a beautiful project. For all of you with cubs, you're going to have a great time at camp this summer at MAC. And that's going to be a wonderful gathering place to sit out and watch what's going on. This spring, we're having a roof replacement project that's going on in the pavilion, kitchen and office complex. All of the roofing will be replaced with metal roofing. Also, water damage will be repaired inside the dining pavilion and also around some of the buildings, and some masonry work will also be done there, particularly, I believe, around the fireplace and chimney area to prevent future water damage. And that project will be finished before the camp season. At Bayshore, some exciting things going on as well. The campfire circle is going to be redone. There will be new seating, new lighting, and a sound system added. I think that's going to be fantastic. As I'm getting older, sometimes if you're near the back, it's a little harder to hear. So I think that'll be really great. And especially for OA tap outs, you'll be able to hear the names and so forth. There's also, I believe, along with that, the grading will be changed. So hopefully it won't be a lot of mud puddles. And eventually the fire area, the stage in essence, will be raised. So I think the campfire circle is going to be a really new, beautiful addition. This fall, the lake will be dredged. That's a project that has been in the works for several years. There's quite a bit of silt buildup, especially over at the end near the fire circle. So dredging that will improve the aquatic life and will actually improve the boating and so forth at the lake. And on the longer term, there's planning underway for the replacement of the upper shower house. And that will help us to better meet the needs of both youth and adults and men and women. I believe the plan will be that there will be individual stall units that contain a sink, toilet, and shower. So you won't have to have, this is just for adults, this is just for male, this is just for youth. You'll be able to go in, safely lock yourself in and have the privacy that you need. So those are the things that are in the works at our camps. I think it's wonderful. So at this point, I'm going to turn it back to Dan to tell us about what's going on with summer camp this year.
Awesome. Hopefully you can hear me now. I have no idea why, but my microphone sometimes just doesn't work. I have a new computer and you'd think that would work, but oh well. We are excited for summer this summer. After we take a year off, we have a lot of things that we will be doing a little differently, but we will be having a fun and safe program for our scouts this fall at both Camp Mac and at Bayshore Scout Reservation. So I want to assure you all of that we will have a safe program. If we can't offer a safe program, we won't offer a program, but we are very confident that it will happen and it'll be fun. Some of the things just to keep you guys up to date on timelines, camperships are due on the 15th of this month. So you have 11 days to do that. If you have families that are unsure if they're going to camp, I encourage them to still fill out a form and submit it because the deadline is the 15th of March. After that, I can't promise anything. So if there's needs for families, even if they're not 100% sure they're going to go, please submit the form. I'd much rather have them get a campership and not need it than later need a campership and we can't help. So please keep that in mind and send that out to your units. That campership form is on our website and went out on the Scouter Focus a couple days ago as well. Outside of that, for Bayshore, for the units attending Bayshore Scout Reservation this summer, merit badge registration starts on April 1st. The guidebook and the schedule are up on our website. We are at this point still planning a pre-camp leader meeting in April, probably in person, but that still isn't 100%. As we know more, we'll send that out. Camp Mac, the leader guide is very close to being ready, but it is not done yet. For both camps, the registration deadline is May 15th to be on time. Anything after that will be late, but we will be happy to have anybody that wants to attend. One more thing. Outside of that, if you're looking for promotions for Camp Mac, you can contact our camp director, Ben Wahlberg. I'll put his email address in the chat here once I'm done. But we are still doing presentations. We can do those virtually. Ben is happy to pop into a Zoom meeting, do his thing. And every unit, if they do a presentation for Cub Scout camp, will get a $50 discount to attend camp as a unit. So that is still there. The presentation has to be done by May 1st. Outside of that, we are still looking for some staff members. So if you have people in your unit, youth or adult, looking for things to do this summer, we would love to have them join our camp staffs. Cool, Ben just put his email address in the chat. We are looking for a aquatic staff, which is a pretty standard normal thing. If you know anybody that likes to swim, we'd love to have them. We are looking for a shooting sports director at Camp Mac that'd be working with the kids overseeing the BB gun and archery program. That position is a 18 or older. And if they're over 21, we'd love to have somebody over 21. We would send them to camp school so they can get some extra certifications, but that's a need that we're looking for. We're also looking for a health officer for Camp Mac. That's an 18 or older position. So if you know anybody in those fields that have interest in working at Camp Mac with Cub Scouts, we'd love to have them. We're also at Bayshore looking for a business manager and a trading post manager. The business manager is a 21 and older position. Trading post is an 18 and older position. So if you know anybody with any business or retail background or wants to learn about business or retail, we'd love to have them come on board and we can mentor them and help them learn in those positions. Outside of that, anybody that's 14 and older, if they want to be a CIT or at 15, be a paid staff member at either camp, we would love to have them join us. The application's on our website and I'll send that link in the chat here in just a second. But again, the biggest things that we want to just remind everybody and let everybody know is we are going to offer a safe program this summer. We are very closely monitoring the different guidelines put in place by the state and the BSA. And actually in the next 2 weeks or so, we will have an update. But I can promise as of today, masks will be worn this summer. Some of the other things that will likely be different is food service. We don't know exactly what that'll look like, but we know it'll be different. Social distancing will be, a thing that we need to continue to manage and watch. It is very likely that we will be limiting guests, and that would include family night. It is very likely we will not do family night. It'll just be the people that are in camp will be at camp. And then the check-in process will obviously be very different. People will not be stepping out of a car until they've at least done a medical pre-check. And we will be doing scheduled times for check-in. So keep that in mind. Check-in will be different. We're going to ask for your guys' cooperation through that process, as it will be, like I said, we'll have assigned times and a process that will be a little different than normal, but it's to ensure safety for all of our scouts and all of our families. So at this point, that's what I'll share. And like I said, by the end of this month, we'll have another great camping update. But just please let your families know that we are offering a safe program this summer. And we really would love to have your kids come have an outdoor experience because we know that's a very important part of scouting.
Thanks, Dan. I'm going to talk briefly here about open district positions. We're always in need of volunteers and are wanting to expand our volunteer pool. If you can volunteer at the district level, please contact myself or Nikki or Jim. If you know of someone who could make a good volunteer, pass their contact information along to myself or Nikki or Jim. In particular, we have the following needs. Membership, what we're looking for there in the team we're building, people who can help with recruiting, identifying, and helping to start new units and supporting our existing units. Camping, the tasks needed there are promoting camping within the district and communicating safety standards as they change. And as all of us know, this past year, lots of things are constantly changing. Finance. We're looking for help coordinating our finance program, fundraisers, FOS, and finding new opportunities. And finally, marketing and PR, helping to get the message out about scouting and what is going on within the district. Those are areas where we have real needs and can use any number of volunteers. So if you or anyone you know in your units, any friends that you know who might be interested in helping work with the best youth organization in the country, forward their information. We would love to have them as part of our team. I want to thank everyone for being on and listening tonight. And now I'm going to give it to Jim to talk about commissioners, another area where we always can use some help.
Thank you, Rick. Commissioners, you hear this every roundtable just about, but yeah, I'm always looking for new commissioners. And according to the commissioner handbook, our district should have approximately 35 to 40 commissioners. And you break that 35 or 40 down, and it would mean that we'd have one commissioner for every 2 units in the district. That would include, also 9 assistant district commissioners. And assistant district commissioners would be in charge of all the commissioners in a school district. So since we have 9 school districts, I would need 9. And right now I only have 2. And we could use 3 or 4 roundtable commissioners.
No, they're still going.
Oh gosh, maybe I should tune into that. I apologize. Well, I was calling. Well, gotcha. I got.
Go ahead, Jim.
Thank you. Currently, we have 11 commissioners. That covers 29 years. So it's not very many. 2 assistant commissioners for the 9 school district roundtable commissioners. Now, a unit commissioner is a member of the district who helps the scout unit. That's their main goal. And what I'm looking for is somebody that would be in helping these units. And I'm looking at maybe the younger generation, 25, 24, 25 to, like Eagle Scouts that are not giving back. Maybe you can get some of them back into scouting. The unit commissioner is there to help and assist the unit and to help the unit have a viable program. Several roles as a commissioner is being a friend to the unit. And all of these roles, this is one of the most important. And it brings from the attitude, I care, I'm here to help. What can I do for you? The next role would be a representative. The average unit leader is totally occupied in working with the kids. So they don't have the time to interact with the district or the council, and that's where your commissioner comes in. The third one is they could be your doctor. And their role as a doctor, they know that prevention is better than a cure. So they try to see that your unit makes good health practices. Next is a teacher. As a commissioner, they will have a wonderful opportunity to participate in the growth of the unit leaders by sharing knowledge with them, like a mentor. And the last is a counselor. And as a scouting counselor, they help units solve their own problems. So again, and be a commissioner, you need to be 21 years of age, and you do not have a leadership role in a unit, but you can be a unit commission or a committee member. That's one role that you could be. So if you know anyone that wants to be, contact me, or if you have any further questions about it, what the bigger duties are, you can call me at 717-926-7793. Thank you.
All right. The last thing that we were going to talk about on our agenda for the state of the district is what we're calling good news. Now, this is something new that we're trying to do. For good news, we are working on a newsletter that's going to be sent out quarterly to different members of the community so that they know what is going on with our scouting units. So what we're asking you to do is, if you have a project that you'd like to share, for instance, an Eagle Scout not too long ago went up and built a dog park over in the Cocalico area. It's an amazing thing to do. And it's definitely something that the community should know about. Or I know Troop 142 went and put together meals for one of the local churches so that they could do a community meal. PAC 460 worked with the Elko School District to gather a special food drive for families that needed food insecurity issues. They worked with the school district specifically so that they would know which families they should help get supplies for. Any of these kinds of stories. We had a pair of brothers from Troop 456 that not terribly long ago saved a life and were awarded something by the local fire department for where the gentleman was. These are wonderful things, and these things happen all the time, not necessarily life-saving, but good things happen all the time with our scouts and our scouting units. And I would love to help share that with the greater community. So please, if you have those stories to share, send them to me via email so that I know what's going on. If you are doing a special project, for instance, I believe PAC 61 helped set up a outdoor exhibition or exhibit with the local library where they are, so that people could walk by, see the story through the windows, and go on a troll hunt. These are fantastic things, and I love hearing about them. So please share them with me so that I can share them with those who are part of our community and on our mailing list. If you have any questions though, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks again for everybody. Since we are recording this, I have pulled up the chat. I don't know if everybody can see it, but if you can, we've got links in the chat for the spring sale, the link for the COVID-19 information, national tools, all sorts of things. So please check out the chat, and thank you everybody for attending, truly. It is great seeing you, even if it is through a screen, and I hope that we'll be able to see each other again soon. Have a good evening.